Mr. Secretary, before we go, 3 years ago, you signed your name to a letter alongside dozens of other intelligence officials saying, that the Hunter Biden email saga the letter said all the classic earmarks of a Russian information operation. You noted that the people who signed it said you didn't know for sure, of course, what it was. But given what we know now, do you wish that you hadn't signed that letter or been involved in it?
No, not at all. I signed that letter for one reason, which was to make the American people aware that the Russians deliberately were engaged in a disinformation campaign in the United States and trying to impact on our election and trying to impact on our ability to have free and fair elections. That's why I signed that letter. And very frankly, I have seen no evidence to the contrary that Russia has not engaged in that kind of disinformation campaign.
Right. But we just haven't seen evidence affirming that either. Mr. Secretary, thank you so much for your time and for your expertise tonight.
And you have such a long history with the Justice Department. You see right now, I think, so much attention on the DOJ and their independence, or perhaps questions about whether they are in fact independent. One of those comes from Republicans about this Hunter Biden investigation that just concluded. We just learned tonight that the U.S. attorney who's leading that investigation, David Weiss, he's agreed to testify at a congressional hearing this fall to basically explain how he got to the charging decision that he did. Is that the right call?
I'm glad he did. Now, obviously, I'm not privy to all the details of the investigation and so on, but in general, I like more transparency in our justice system. And here, I think it's really important for viewers to understand this prosecutor that investigated Hunter Biden, Joe Biden's son, was not appointed by Merrick Garland or Joe Biden. He was appointed by a guy named Donald Trump. He was the chief prosecutor in Delaware with a presidential nomination by Donald Trump. And what the Biden Justice Department did was keep him on, which is something that happens in politically sensitive investigations. You keep a former United States attorney on, particularly if they're of the opposite political party. So in that circumstance, you don't have the worry that you have when you have a non-independent, Justice Department Attorney General investigating the president who nominated him. Here you have a cross-party investigation.
A very good point. That attorney was left in his job to finish the job.